Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'll be solving LeetCode 75 questions using Go programming. So let's look at today's question, container with most water. You're given an integer array height of length n. There are n vertical lines drawn such that two endpoints of the ith line are I comma 0 and I comma height of I. Find two lines that together with x-axis form a container such that the container contains the most water. Return the maximum amount of water a container can store. Notice that you may not slant the container. Okay, so let's look at some example. So here we have an example array of heights. Now let's see how can we find the maximum amount of water that can be contained here. So one of the basic thing that you need to know is if we have two heights, let's say one is 8 and another is 2, what is the maximum number of water this container can store? See, water can only this much of water can be stored. How much? Of height 2. So basically, even if you have two different heights, 8 and 2, the container can be max of height, which is minimum. Height can only be minimum of both the heights 2 and 8, and width will be the difference between their index. Let's say if this is 0th index and this is 4th index, width will be 4 minus 0, which is 4. So this is the one of the most basic thing you need to understand to solve this question. So if you have two heights, the height of the container will be minimum, because as you can see only this much water can be stored. Like if you fill more water, it will spill over. So height of the container will be minimum of 2 and 8. Width will be the difference between indices. So if you know this much, then I think it's very easy to solve this problem. Okay, so now let's assume we understood the basics of the question. How would we solve it? So basically, the most brute force way is, sorry. Yeah, so the most brute force way is for I is equal to 0 to n. So, and for j is equal to I plus 1 to n. So you basically have one loop which goes from I to n, and you have another loop which goes from I plus 1 to n. And for each of the thing you find min height between, let's say, height of I and height of j. You min height, and then area will just be like min height into the difference of index, whatever the difference between j minus I is, that will be the difference of the indexes. So you will do like this, and finally, like after both the loop, you will find one area of a container which is maximum. That container will hold the maximum water. But the issue with this approach is it is O of n square, because you have two loop. So how can we optimize this? So to optimize this, I think if you've seen my previous videos, there is a very popular concept called two pointer. So the two pointer concept is basically, as the name suggests, you will have two pointers. So how do we use this approach to solve this question effectively? So this is how we will do it. Basically, let's say you have one pointer at the beginning at index 0, one pointer at the end at the last index. So what is the height here? 1. What is the height here? 7. What is the min height? Min height is 1. Okay, and what is the width here? Width is, as I mentioned, difference between the indices. 8 minus 0. 8 minus 0 is 8. So maximum area here is 8. So append rest is equal to 8. Now, how should we move this two pointers I and j? How should we move this? You need to move this in such a way that we get the maximum area, right? So the height of our container, it depends on the minimum of both the heights we are comparing. So for us, it makes more sense to get a height which is maximum. Like, see, out of 1 and 7, 1 was minimum. So our entire height depended on 1, because we if there are two heights, we anyway take the minimum of both of them, which is 1. So because of this 1, it became a bottleneck. Our container turned out to be lesser in height. So it makes more sense for us to move the I pointer, which is pointing to the smaller height. So basically, the way the pointer movement happens is, whichever pointer is pointing towards a smaller height, you will move that. So this pointer will be moved. Now it's pointing to 8. So 8 and 7. Minimum height is 7. What is the width? Width is again 8 minus 1, 7. 7 into 7 is 49. RS will be updated to 49. Now what is the minimum height between 8 and 7? 7 is the minimum height, so we move it. So we got 3 here. So 8 and 3, minimum is 3, into difference between indices is 7 minus 1, 6. 18. 18 is less than 49. We won't update this. What is the minimum height? 3. So move this. So what is the minimum height here? Both are 8. So minimum height is 8. Difference between indices, 6 minus 1 is 5. What is 8 5s are 40. 40 is less than 49. So we won't update it. So if both the heights are same, you can move either of the pointer. It doesn't matter. In this case, let's say we move J. So we have 4 and 8 here. Minimum is 4. What is the difference? 5 minus 1 is 4. 16, again less than 49. We won't update the result. So which is the lesser height? 4. So move this J. So now we have 5 and 8. Again 5 into width, 4 minus 1, 3, which is 15. Again is less than 49. We won't update it. Which is the lesser height? J. Move it. So 8 and 2, 2. 2 is the minimum height, and difference is 3 minus 1, 2, which is 4. 4 is again lesser than 49. So move the minimum height. Again 6 and 8, minimum height is 6, and 2 minus 1 is 1, 6. 6 is again less than 49. We won't update it. So basically, finally our result will be 49, because that is the maximum area of the container. So if you maximum area of the container turned out to be this will store the maximum amount of water, 49. So we'll return that. Now let's go and code this up. Okay, coding also should be very simple for this. So right comma left, one will be pointing to the first index, other will be pointing to the last index. Now have a for loop where left is lesser than right. We are doing like this because Go doesn't have a while loop, so while loop is in turn implemented like this. So what is our min height? Min height is nothing but min of height of left, height of right, and we also should have a result. Now once we have min height, find area. What is area? Area is min height into right minus left. This will be our area. So res will be maximum of res comma area. because we want to find maximum area of the container. Now if height of left is less than height of right, so what did I tell? If left is smaller in height, move left, else move right. Right should be decremented. So left and j is basically our I and j pointer. If you are thinking what it is, basically whatever I explained with the I and j, they are nothing but left and right. And then once we have all of this, just return the result. Let's check this. Yeah, works 100% runtime. Let's analyze the time and space complexity. We are traversing the array of height only once. We just have two pointers, but in turn we are just traversing the array only once. We are adjusting the pointers such that we are only traversing the array once. So time complexity will be O of n, and space will be O of 1, because we are not using any extra space, so space will be O of 1. So that's it for today's, guys. It doesn't have any follow-up. So thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. Please subscribe.